Hello audiophiles of the internet, and welcome once again to Audio 46, your headphone destination. My name is Franco, and today we will be taking a very exciting first look at the Focal Clear MG Professional Edition. Now, if you're an audiophile, you're probably already familiar with the fact that the Focal Clear is one of the best open-back headphones that you're likely to find anywhere. So it begs the question, what is the purpose of this MG Professional Edition, and how different is it really from the original Clear? If you want to find out what's changed beyond a different color scheme and a bit of a new look, then stick around because we're going to get into all of that and more right now. Let's talk headphones. If there are any surprises in store for the MG Pro, it won't be in terms of the packaging, as this is exactly in line with the presentation of all of Focal's offerings. Not that that's a bad thing, as they have some of the best looking packaging of any luxury headphone brand that you are likely to find. The box is the same one you know and love that slides up to reveal the contents slotted inside very neat and tidy. The zipper case is always a highlight, and the Clear MG Pro is no exception, with this particular version sporting a beautiful maroon and black color scheme that really makes the material pop nicely. Inside are your headphones themselves and a 1.2 meter double-ended cable with a 3.5 millimeter end. There's also an included 1/4 inch adapter. Your second box opens up to reveal an extra set of ear pads and another cable, this one 5 meters long with a 1/4 inch end as well. Both cables are made of OFC 24 AWG copper for those of you who demand the best materials out of all components of your gear. Focal products are always exceptional on the design front, and this particular look happens to be one of my favorites in their canon. The outside here is completely black, save for the silver accents, and the inner headband and ear pads continue the nice maroon color scheme from the hard case. The ear cups feature a honeycomb perforation design that is both extremely stylish and highly functional, as this allows for more air to pass through the ear cup and the speaker element, an essential feature for any open-back headphone. It should come as no surprise that the build here is extremely solid and that the materials used are all first rate. The yokes here are solid aluminum, and the headband and ear cups are made of memory foam covered in perforated microfiber fabric that makes these extremely comfortable and welcoming to wear for long amounts of time. The frame feels extremely solid and sturdy, and though you are likely to be extremely precious with these given their price, they do seem very durable against any wear and tear that might come their way. As for the fit on the head, they enclose the ear nicely and sit on the head very snug and secure without any unwelcome tightness. If you've worn a Focal headphone before, then you know exactly what to expect here. As many of you out there probably already know, the staple of Focal's driver technology has been their special M-shaped driver, which is responsible for their very clean, distinct sound and their pristine sound signatures. The MG Pro integrates a new full-range 40mm magnesium speaker driver that allows this unit to achieve more balanced amounts of detail thanks to its coupling with a frameless copper voice coil. The MG Pro also uses a new alloy that aims to deliver more lightness and dampening to the driver, thus allowing for a much more defined bass response than the previous version. While this does give the low end a bit more power, it is important to note that the aim of this unit beyond all else is accuracy. Thus the Pro in the model name. This is definitely geared toward the mixing and mastering professional. These headphones are going to be overall much more suited for studio work than they are for casual listening, and the tuning and the sound signature are going to be reflective of this. Everything about this driver system is designed to optimize details and much more analytical listening. Now, if you're a person who is seriously looking into buying this headphone, then you are probably unlikely to plug it right into the headphone jack of either your laptop or your smartphone without a decent amp or a DAC, but these are low resistance enough that you could do so and it'll sound pretty terrific anyway. The impedance here is just 55 ohms, so these will play very nicely with any outboard gear you decide to use, giving you a wide variety of options. Using a pretty basic interface like my Focusrite Scarlett Solo was very comfortable, and there was plenty of headroom to adjust to whatever my needs were. This is pretty ideal since, again, the optimal use for these headphones is going to be studio use, mix, mastering, recording, monitoring, etc. The Soundstage is a bit of an interesting predicament for Focal here with respect to this particular unit. This is an area where Focal's open-back headphones really soar, providing a rich and panoramic sound experience. The Clear MG Pro, in my opinion, actually scales this back quite a bit. It definitely goes the route of being a little less lush in favor of a stage that plays it very straight, and is really focused on an immaculately presented and accurate image. The space may be a little more concentrated than you are used to with the Focal headphone, but the trade-off is that the accuracy and articulation are immaculate here, and different instrument parts have razor-sharp edges between them and a great amount of spatial specificity. The open back still facilitates an abundance of detail, and the effect is a stereo field that is very holographic, allowing you to easily pinpoint and target whatever area of the mix you want to bring out or adjust. It's a pretty stark distinction from the original Clear, as there's no sweetness to be found, just pure detail and accuracy. If you're someone who likes a little bit of pop to your sound signature, then it may be a bit of a bummer to you to hear that the sound signature is a bit more neutral and flat for this particular unit. But I would hasten to add that one benefit of this quality is that it can actually make these a much more versatile set of headphones for those who like to customize their listening experience with a bit of gear. If you have an amp or a DAC that allows for lots of different customization options that enhance bass, soundstage, or EQ, then these headphones can be extremely nimble in conforming to your preferred characteristics. For instance, if you're using something like the iFi Zencan that has the X-Bass feature, you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much rumble this can add to your tracks. The sub-bass growl can really be brought out here and turn these cans into skull rattlers if that's the kind of thing that floats your boat. I personally enjoy a bit of oomph in the low end, so this was a welcome feature. But for those of you who prefer to play it straight, like I said before, the low end right out of the box is very articulate and most of all very accurate, as I keep saying. There's enough body to support the rest of the sound signature, but it's not going to be especially powerful. While the low end is pretty aggressively neutral, it's when you start to move up a little bit into the low mids that the MG Pro starts to exhibit a bit of extension. This is especially apparent in tracks with lots of effects. Big synths and epic reverbs will sound particularly enveloping and reveal a lot of textural nuances that can sound really lovely here. The rest of the mids slot in pretty neatly into the overall neutral aesthetic of the rest of the sound signature, sounding very clean and mostly unadorned. For those listening to Hayley Williams' new record, the great amount of timbre integrity really brings out the crisp resolution in the upper mid-range of her vocal sound and really wraps you into the recording, especially with the ethereal instrumentation and the nice layered vocal harmonies. A particular standout was the track First Thing to Go, so give that a listen if you want to hear what I'm talking about. The meticulous fidelity that kind of defines the sound signature of the MG Pro is most on display here with the high frequencies. Now, this can be both to the benefit and to the detriment of the particular sound of these headphones, depending on what your preferences are. This is definitely the area of the headphones that is going to be the most source dependent. Because the tonality of the highs is clear and present, you are going to get every last drop of detail out of even the most sensitive of instruments, sounds, etc. However, this means that there won't be anywhere for super bright or sibilant elements to hide. In well-recorded material, cymbal crashes and wailing guitars will have just the right amount of sparkle and sizzle to lift your entire track. In something a little bit less refined, you'll hear all that harshness, warts and all. The details are really there, but the trade-off is probably a bit more brightness than you might prefer. There's absolutely no colorization here sharpening the sound or mellowing it out either way, so what you hear is what you get. Nothing more, nothing less. This added a really unique quality to some recordings, which were able to toe the line ever so elegantly between sparkle and harshness, but this is definitely a case of knowing yourself and what it is you prefer and what your tastes are. In my humble opinion, this is the best kind of follow-up to an already great unit. It presents something that is truly different from the original, both in terms of the look and the sound, in a way that highlights the pros and cons of both units. This is indeed pretty pricey for a reference headphone, but it's also better looking and more well built than most others you are likely to find out there in the wide world. Focal are masters of crafting immaculate and unique sound signatures, and this one stands out purely because of how thorough it is in its mission to be remarkably flat, neutral, and analytical. If you're someone who likes to customize your sound with gear, you could get a lot out of this, but otherwise this is going to be most valuable for mixers and engineers. If the price isn't a deterrent, then this will be one of the best pairs of studio cans that you'll ever invest in. Alright, that is it for today, guys. So I want to know, what do you guys think? Do you have the Focal Clear? Are you planning on getting the Focal Clear MG Pro? Do the differences seem big enough to warrant a second purchase? Let me know in the comments down below. I always love to hear what you have to say and to start a good discussion. While you're down there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you never miss another video from our channel, and consider following us on Instagram over at Audio46. Thank you guys so much once again for watching. My name is Franco with Audio46, your headphone destination, and I will see you all very soon.